Good morning, everyone, and good evening in Europe and India. Stress and anxiety has become synonymous with modern day life, especially during COVID times. How can we create harmony in our mind while the outside world is in disarray? We'll talk about the science behind yoga techniques and other therapy in our session today. I am Amita from Nourish Talk, a platform for natural and holistic therapies. Presenting this session, we have Dr. Tequila Hill, a licensed psychotherapist, registered yoga teacher, and a certified Reiki master. Dr. Hill has a PhD and a master's degree in her professional expertise. Welcome, Dr. Hill.
Hello, happy to be here.
Well, great. So let's start with an overview of how does therapy help with stress and anxiety?
Yes. We're going to do an overview of anxiety versus stress, benefits of yoga as an adjunct treatment for stress and anxiety, since that seems to be not going away, especially during the times of COVID. But my presentation really was just an overview to give you a taste of what is out there for anyone who is already a yoga practitioner, meditation practitioner, pranayama practitioner, or you want to think about incorporating this into your wellness practices. So I hope that my presentation can give you an overview of that if you're interested in it. Ready for the next slide?
Okay.
Yes. So as we know, modern life has become very fast-paced, a lot of pressures, a lot of expectations, a lot of external stressors. When we continuously experience stressors in our everyday life and we don't have healthy means of coping with it, it really wreaks havoc on our bodies and our nervous systems. When our body becomes overstressed, our sympathetic nervous system becomes in overdrive, constant state of fight or flight, and it can have very negative effects on the body physically and emotionally. Ready for the next slide? A number of studies have shown that yoga may also help reduce stress and anxiety, and it can also enhance your mood and overall sense of well-being. Yoga's potential as a key component of integrative and complementary mental health is now being recognized internationally. Let me just say, I am in the US and we are late to the game when it comes to a lot of holistic things. So while everyone in other countries may know this, in America, it's still very behind. So let me just put that context out there. So very happy that we are embracing it now. Yoga is a mind-body practice that combines physical poses, controlled breathing, and meditation. Next. A fundamental practice of yoga is that the mind and the body are connected. They are one. They're not disconnected. They're interconnected. Yoga has many styles, forms, and intensities. In the West, we practice a lot of hatha yoga as it relates to stress and anxiety, because that's the one that is can be integrated into all practices, and also it can be easy for beginning yogis, older people. Everyone can practice typically hatha yoga. We like to incorporate it with stress and anxiety management programs. It's slower pace, and like I said before, it's pretty safe for all levels. When informed by research and applied by qualified professionals, yoga for anxiety or stress is a safe and inexpensive healing modality that can be integrated into other wellness practices long-term. Next. So just some stats from the US. And an estimated 80 to 90% of visits to the doctor are stress related, but only half, then less than 3% of the doctors talk to their patients about how to reduce stress. So when I say this, I mean not with medication. In a national survey, over 85% of people who did yoga reported that it actually helped them relieve stress. I myself have also experienced that in working with my patients. I probably see about 40 people a week and also work in conjunction with psychiatrists, holistic practitioners like chiropractors and other holistic physicians and Chinese medicine physicians. And they also see a change in my patients in that they are not either needing medication, reduce their medication, or completely don't even need therapy anymore when we do a conjunct of yoga, psychotherapy, and other wellness practices. So it's really cool. Exercise is a very useful way of relieving stress. However, yoga is different than spinning or weightlifting in that it powerfully combines both physical fitness with an underlying philosophy of self-compassion and awareness. Next. something that I want to really tease out that people often put together. Anxiety and stress are often used interchangeably, but they are not the same. Anxiety is the internal alarm or concern that arises even when an external threat is not physically present. Anxiety also is the anticipation of a threat that may never materialize. However, stress in a nutshell is anything a person perceives to be a threat. Stress is an external threat. Perception determines the intensity and duration of the body's many stress-related reactions. Got it, y'all? So anxiety and stress, they're related, but they're not the same. Okay.
So let's give us an example, like how a person would feel when someone is stressed out and someone is anxious for our viewers.
I'll give you an example. So we all have work stress. So work is the external thing, right? But how I internalize it might be my anxiety.
Oh, I see. Right? So the stress is someone else is giving it to me, like my
always external. It's our response to something external. However, if you might just wake up tomorrow and feel anxiety for no reason. There's no external threat.
So when I feel anxiety, then my breathing is a little bit
because anxiety
right?
Your breathing is going to be heavier. Your heart is going to beat fast. Stress, you may feel that way, but you can still function at a high level. But with anxiety, it can become crippling and you may need to be hospitalized. You typically don't need hospitalization or medication or anything for stress, because typically when the external threat is gone, the stress is away. But when anxiety, it doesn't have to have an external threat. It's just you might feel anxious all the time and you may feel the anxiety in your body with different symptoms, and everyone is going to experience anxiety differently.
So one can also internalize anxiety. In other words, think of some past thoughts or think of something that might trigger your mind, so that you could also feel anxiety because some not necessarily external factor. I'm just trying to clarify for our viewers is that maybe sometimes, you think of some past event that it was not very good in your life, and that might also trigger anxiety. Would that also happen?
Because if you don't know how to handle stress, external things, it can actually lead up to anxiety if it's not managed or coped well. For instance, if you have a very stressful job and you haven't learned how to cope with the needs of your job, or you haven't left your job and you continue to stay there, now the external threat has become internal, and now you have anxiety about going to work. So think about stress as level 1, and stress is never going to go away. It's a part of modern society. If we don't learn how to manage our stress, anxiety is sure to come later.
Understand. Okay. All right, moving on. So we talk about the science behind yoga.
Stress and yoga reduction. During a yoga session, certain parts of your brain slow down. They know this because they take MRIs of people's brains, and they can see all the really cool things that are happening. Before, they didn't have this technology, so they really didn't know. Also, because yoga is an ancient practice, here in the United States, they're just learning about the healing effects of it. So now the neuropsychologists and neuroscientists are looking at people's brains to really look at a way to use yoga more holistically versus medication. So this is the context of this. So as I said before, during a yoga session, certain parts of the brain slow down. This function helps you to de-stress, which takes place in 2 major parts of your brain. The frontal lobe, which is the most advanced part of your brain. That's where the amygdala is. That is for planning, thinking, self-awareness, and emotional regulation. And also your parietal lobe, that handles all information coming from your senses, sights, sounds, and everything you observe around you. So when you do yoga, these parts of your brain are actually activated.
That's amazing, though.
In yoga, your constant use and practice of control of your postures, your breathing, and mental health activity result in increased gray matter density and activation of your hippocampus or your frontal cortex, together allowing you to have better focus and concentration, emotional and impulse control, more attunement with the senses or mindfulness, decision-making. Yoga also helps reduce stress by lowering 2 critical stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline.
So what's fascinating is, for our viewers, like we do exercise, like cardiovascular aerobics or spinning, And I think, how does yoga differ, and why is yoga so beneficial as compared to if someone goes spinning or any other exercise like Pilates?
So any exercise is awesome because it secretes those, like they call it the happiness hormones to make you feel good. So
Yeah.
any physical activity is typically going to give you that. But yoga is unique in that not only does it give you that physical high, but it also helps calm you. So with like running and spinning and weight training, you feel like powerful, you feel like that high, but it doesn't teach you how to focus. It doesn't calm the parasympathetic nervous system, it doesn't calm the body. Yoga is so unique in that it makes you strong physically and strong mentally, not just one, it's both.
Because it combines the breath work as well as the body work. That's the reason?
So in connecting with the breath work, and we're about to get there, the pranayama, that
Yes.
helps quiet down the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the opposite of the sympathetic nervous system. Sympathetic nervous system is your fight or flight. If you hear a gunshot or chased by a bear, your body is going to respond. But unfortunately, our body doesn't know if we're getting chased by a bear or we just don't like our boss. Our body responds to external stress the same way. So with yoga, it helps activate that parasympathetic nervous system, which calms the body. So we can think clearly because the body is calm. That's why in Hatha yoga, which in most yoga classes, you always have a breakdown of poses, breath work, and meditation. If you're not doing poses, breath work, and meditation, it is not yoga. It is just exercise. If you go to a yoga class and you're just asana, just poses, you're probably like a Pilates class, and those are great, but it is not yoga the way yoga is intended for us to practice, but you don't have poses, breath work, and meditation. Because that's the difference. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, please explain us different elements. That's great.
Yes, I love it. I love yoga. So yoga practices typically consist of 3 components that cater to the physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. The poses or the asana, and forgive me if I'm saying it wrong, specific poses can induce the relaxation response in the body. In a lot of restorative yoga or gentle vinyasa yoga, you're having moving meditation, mind to body, body to breath. You're syncing everything in synergy. You're slowing down and you're really focusing. So that is required in this type of yoga to calm the body. So then we get down to breath work. Most yoga classes are going to teach you how to breathe first, because if you don't know how to breathe, it's not going to have the effect it's supposed to calm the body down. So you start off with breathing. Then you control the breath. And then once you have your breath together, you link the breath to the movement, right? Depending on the yoga class, you can have a built-in meditation at the beginning or the end of class, sometimes both. And yoga in itself is a moving meditation, connecting mind to body, body to breath, being very, very present, non-judgmental in the moment, honoring the space, So with meditation, you get into a relaxed state of being, and you're mindfully aware of the present moment without judgment. As I said before with breath work, you're connecting with the parasympathetic nervous system. And again, people don't realize it's not, woo, mumbo jumbo. This really affects the body in really positive ways. No different than stress keeps your cortisol up and keeps you awake at night, as does anxiety. Doing this type of work quiets you down so that you can deal with things in a more holistic and healthy way.
It's very powerful, very powerful.
Mm-hmm. With yoga or regular yoga practice, so when I say regular, 2 times a week. I understand people are busy. If you can only go 1 time a week, and maybe you practice no asana, maybe you just practice meditation and pranayama. I get it. You might be in your office and you can't do a whole lot of movement. You will see chronic stress hormones level drop. Your heart rate variability increases, which means when people are constantly stressed out or anxious, their heart rate is really fast and it's the same pace. But when you practice yoga, your heart rate changes in that it's a little slower. It's slower because you've trained your parasympathetic nervous system to respond to your emotions internally and externally in healthy ways, in mindful ways, taking a breath, calming down before you react. You learn how to respond, okay? Mm-hmm. Your blood pressure decreases, and you also have a lower baseline level of emotional arousal. You train your brain and your body to have better counter stress responses, which decreases stress and anxiety and enhances your physical and emotional well-being.
That's
And I've given like my favorite top 10 poses. I typically always teach these with all of my clients, and I give this to them in our work together. Excuse me. These are some really great poses to calm the body. There's also poses if you want to wake the body up. For example, if you wanted to wake up, you would do a sun salutation. You only do a sun salutation in the morning. You don't do that at night. You would do a moon flow at night, right? Which is more calming and restorative. So these poses can be done anytime, but if it's to calm the body, these are some really great. There's more, but these are my favorite to do. Anyone can do them, and you can do them safely. I also have given some tips for managing stress and breath work in the workplace. My absolute favorite, 4x4 or box breathing. You can do that at your desk. You can do it anytime. No one has to know you're doing it. But if you're really just trying to learn how to breathe properly, these are some ways to do it. So you can get into that yogic breath.
Do you think we have time to do a small demo of the box breath?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm down for the box breath. If anybody, I would love to do a box breath demonstration.
Sure, absolutely. We have a few minutes.
Good. Okay. So I invite everyone to take a deep breath.
There's something in the chat. Let me just see. Yes, definitely. People are so. we have few attendees, and we'll open it up for questions in a second. And I'm going to stop sharing so that we can all see Dr. Hill while she's giving a demo. But you have our website and email here if you need to contact us. So. All right, let's go for the demo.
Okay, so let's all just like relax our shoulders, roll them back. And when you're ready, close your eyes. Just kind of relax. Take a really deep breath through your nose. Hold it. Exhale through the mouth. Again, take a deep breath through the nose. Hold it. Hold it. Release. Exhale through the mouth. Placing one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly, preparing for box 4 breathing. I will count. You don't have to. Just listen to the sound of my voice. Taking a really deep belly breath through your nose. Deep inhale. Release. Inhale, up. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, take that breath up, 4 counts. Let it go, very nice. Placing hands together, bringing thumbs to the third eye chakra. Just breathe, deep inhale. Exhale, let it go. Deep inhale. Release and let it go, placing both hands on the heart this time. Deep inhale. And we exhale. So that's just a little sample of box 4 breathing.
That's beautiful, beautiful. Well, we are open for questions. So I do have a question from the audience who are watching us right now and from Zoom. So someone is asking us, can you please explain stress and anxiety with regards to emotional abuse, particularly narcissistic abuse?
Okay, so when you think about abuse, since abuse is something that has happened to you, that can be a blend of external stress and also internal anxiety because you've been hurt. When I think about treatment for that, that's something that, psychotherapy would be very helpful, but also yoga in conjunction to help calm your body. Because if you've been with a narcissist who's been abusive to you, your parasympathetic nervous system, your system is doing this because you are in fight or flight all the time. Kind of like someone going to war, they have to kind of be on to stay safe. So you're probably over anxious because your stress is immediate and it's actually happening to you. So my suggestion is that you go get a therapist and also start practicing some yoga, like ASAP.
Yeah.
Helpful.
The other thing is, I was interviewing someone, and a lot of people, women or men who have been abused, child abuse, or even during adulthood, people are telling them you're not good enough, or and it could be anyone, people
Yes.
around you, and then sometimes they wait until they're almost till 50 years old to come out and accept. Could you talk a little bit about that? I mean, why people wait for such a long time and then they say, "Oh, now I'm ready to release."
Yeah, that's a really great question, and thank you for asking. I think first and foremost, healing does not have a expiration date, and people who have been abused or gone through trauma, I think it's very important to honor their experience, because for some people, they never get the help. Sometimes they're embarrassed to get the help. Sometimes they don't have the resources to get the help. But whenever they do get the help and they start to learn that they are enough and to heal the emotional trauma, they can have a new narrative of their life. But I think oftentimes people who have been abused, sometimes they don't even know they've been abused. Sometimes they think it's their fault. They've internalized a lot of negative ideation and negative stories about their life. So they don't sometimes even know that they have been harmed, right? And they carry that with them through their life until they get help. So there's no expiration on when people heal. It just depends on them. Everyone is different.
Yeah, yeah. So there's a comment someone is saying, time to find a way to reconnect with the body, and yoga helps you to begin a journey of trusting your
Absolutely. Yes.
That's,
Thanks, Priscilla. Absolutely.
any,
Absolutely.
yes, absolutely. So any other comments or questions? Dr. Hill would be offering a group meditation, mindfulness meditation,
Yes,
sometime in September, but this is a great way for you to ask any questions. She's right here.
I'm right here. Hopefully we'll be doing more things like this. I love it. I'm so happy that you found me and asked. I would love to offer that. I think we all need that. We need to be connected.
Yeah.
We need to slow down and be present, because that's really all we have right now through the state of the world as it is.
And then what would you recommend, like someone, like we said, like sometimes people don't even know they are being abused or they're being put down. How do you help yourself, in the sense, do you talk to yourself and internalize like something is wrong and people around me are not?
Some self-reflection questions I would ask someone is like, am I well? Am I
Yeah.
healthy?
Yeah.
Is this relationship bringing out the best of me? Do I have
Okay.
pain that I carry? And if you
Yeah.
don't know, just go talk to a therapist. Just go, if you have access to a therapist or a counselor, a spiritual advisor, just chat with them. Maybe there's things about you that you don't know that someone else can help you process. That's why it's important for people to think about getting mental health assistance for just wellness, because you never know what's going on in there. So if
Yes.
you're unsure, go to someone who you
Okay.
trust, and explore.
No, I think that's very good. So there's a comment that's coming up here, is that culture, shame, and other external factors can prevent a person from getting help, and negatively is normalized. So when the awareness of abuse happens, the individual come to a realization of what they've encountered. Be
Absolutely.
kind. So
Absolutely.
yeah, and then someone is asking, well, we definitely will email the attendees with Dr. Hill's meditation group in September. Yes, we will do that. Um, um, we will do that. But if you have any questions, please ask her right now, because and I think the right support is so vital, like you said, Dr. Hill.
So vital. And I love that you're offering a platform like this and talking about wellness and having these conversations about staying well. Because as in yoga, just like in life, like we're all interconnected. The mind and body is interconnected. And the more we can normalize being well when we're sick, it won't be so shameful, as Priscilla said, to go seek help from different providers. We are here to help you. This is why we're here.
That's right. And sometimes, taking a lot of people, not that we are against medication, but sometimes depressants are not good for your body. And if you can do it right with simple techniques like yoga.
I respect anyone, and I respect people's way, right? And, but
Yes.
if we cannot take medication as our first, line of defense, if we can exhaust everything first by something holistic, I'm definitely a proponent of that. But if someone is unsafe or danger, if you have to go that route, I get it as an extreme measure. But I feel like there's, like nature and all these other amazing healers, we're here to help holistically, so I'm definitely with you on that. Yes.
Absolutely. So somebody's saying, would posture image assist the individual to do positions just from the perspective not all can read what can follow diagrams? We did put actually, yeah, that's a good comment. I think we just listed the poses. What we do is we're happy to put the diagrams as well and send to all the attendees.
Oh, yeah.
All the poses that you listed.
Yes,
I think
you can see visual. Absolutely.
Yeah. So we are happy to do that. All right. I think any other comments before we wrap up from from any attendees? And okay, I just want to double check. I think I see one more question. Okay. One more question is coming up. Can you also fold into this discussion the impact of racial trauma, micro and macro, and tools to heal from that and manage that stress?
Absolutely. I think that those type of wounds can be absolutely healed with yoga and with therapy and with other holistic ways of being. Although my presentation wasn't about that, I think that that's an emotional wound that also can be explored deeper in your yoga practice or with your healthcare provider. So absolutely.
Yoga can help with other type of issues like.
It gets you back to yourself. It gets you connected with whatever you believe in. It gets you connected.
Yeah. All right. We have a comment coming. Fantastic workshop. Very supportive and insightful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Before we wrap up, final thoughts and final comment from you, Dr. Hill?
No, I hope that everyone continues to jump on all these. It is an amazing opportunity to be able to be fed with this platform. I hope to see all of you guys again, and I hope everyone stays well. I'm sending everyone love and light.
Thank you so much. With that, we will finish the session. Namaste, and we will let you know about the sessions, the upcoming session from Dr. Hill. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.